Hello. Today is Wednesday, April 21st, and today I did some jerk work, some hang clean work, and some clean accessories, and today might have honestly been the worst day of training I've had yet. I don't know. I'm currently recording this voiceover just a few hours after this training session, and I honestly debated whether or not I should do this right now when I'm still sort of in this emotional state, or if I should just put it off till tomorrow, so I can have a little bit more of an objective view on how the training session went. But honestly, I thought it would be more worthwhile to put down the feelings that I'm feeling right now and the thoughts that I'm thinking right now. So starting with these jerks, my first few warm-ups were fine. Like, I was pretty focused. I was thinking about, my glasses just fell. I was thinking about foot timing, even weight on my feet in the split position, and making sure that, my my hips don't move forward and my lower back doesn't go into flexion, which I didn't do a good job of when the weights got heavier. Like right now, this rep, you can still see my hips sort of scooping under, and one thing that I did poorly today, or one thing that I did that was really bad, I guess, was that I just wasn't like doing anything to push up on the weight. Like I just sort of, like, that one wasn't bad. That might have been my best one of the three. I don't know. But I don't know. I just sort of, once I drove it up, I just never really pushed up on it, and I just sort of threw my body under, which, like, you can see what happens when I do that is like I just sort of sink down and my weight shifts forward on my front foot and my like elbows bend, because I'm just very passive with my upper body. It's just not very engaged. And like these pause dips and the actual dip and the jerk all suck because like, my hips are just like, that was probably the worst one. I guess technically I made these ish. Actually, no, I did not make some of these. I should have been a little bit clearer with which ones I did make and didn't make, because 2 or 3, I don't even remember how many, but some of them definitely had soft elbows that I locked out, like, for sure. But that wasn't honestly the worst of it. That just sort of set me up to how badly these went, these hang clean and power jerks, because I just wasn't happy with how the sets went. And so I was already in like a bad mental state and mood, I guess. But again, these first few warm-ups for these are also not too bad. I guess I'm moving fine, and these don't feel particularly heavy yet. It's just that I'm not as focused on doing the best I can do. I'm more just hung up on how happy or not happy I was with the jerks. This is such low weight that I don't know, wasn't really indicative of what was to come, I guess. So it's fine until I think the next set is the one where, actually no, it's the warm-up set after. But these felt fine. I was like, I was ready to sort of switch gears, and do well on these hang cleans. I put the belt on at this weight. It's kind of an arbitrary weight to put it on, but I don't know, I just did. Again, I don't know how much it helped me. It probably did a little bit, but again, like yesterday, it just didn't feel super different, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I think I've just been spoiled by my insert belt, but so I feel 210. the clean is fine. Both cleans are fine. Like, they don't feel hard. And it may not look like a miss, I guess, but if I recall, actually, let me just watch it. Yeah, elbows were really soft, and yeah, I'm angry. And the weight was falling forward. I wouldn't have been able to hold that over my head just because I wasn't pushing it back enough. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's just sort of breathe and get it again. And so I do successfully, thankfully, barely. And then this is sort of the the set that I guess sort of was the breaking point today. I just did one rep and was going to do one jerk, and yeah. After the set, I laid down and just stared at the ceiling for maybe like more than like 10 minutes. But then ultimately I decided, I was very close to just going home, but I decided, okay, let's just do cleans and not do the jerk, because that's where I was having problems. And so I retook the warm-up at 230 and then took 245 and then failed it on the first rep. And so that like broke my heart basically. And I was like, fuck this shit. But then I somehow managed to pick myself up again for the second set, which I make the first one. The reason I took this set was because I rewatched the first set that I did where I failed it on the first rep, and I saw that I was getting plenty of height. It was just, that wasn't the issue. It wasn't that I wasn't strong enough. However, it just felt so fucking heavy that I gave up. And so I was like, okay, I was prescribed 3 to 5 sets. Let's at least do 3. And so I lowered the weight to 225. And I included me picking it up off the ground for this clip because you can see in my face that it felt like 400 pounds. And it did feel like that. And I don't even know if I can call that like a Clark, because like I didn't even extend. I just like brought it up an inch and then I said no. And so yeah, so that's how that went. Yeah, and after that it was sort of just like, I could go home, and I really wanted to go home. I just did not want to be there, and I did not want to lift or do anything. I definitely could have gone home, and I sort of knew, though, that if I were to have gone home and just skipped out on the rest of the workout, then I would have just felt even shittier when I got home, knowing that I gave up. Because it's I don't know, it's really fucking easy to give up, and I really wanted to, but I knew that I would just regret it later. And so I was like, okay, at the very least, even if it's just me going through the motions, let's finish this day out. And so I guess in retrospect, I'm glad that I did. I'm going to keep talking past, the video, just because I have more thoughts. But it was either just give up or just finish it out and just get through it. And that's what I did. And so, yeah, again, just in retrospect, I am very glad that I did, because I do know even now that like, if I were sitting here and I hadn't finished the workout and I just gone home and gave up, then I would have just been really pissed with myself, and I would have felt even worse than I do right now. Yeah, and so I don't know. There's this idea of like, as a beginner especially, it's a good idea to hold low expectations but have high standards. And honestly, lately that sort of line is being a little bit blurred, I guess, because I don't really have any high expectations in terms of weight. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't particularly care that it was 245 or whatever that I failed, that was the clean, nor was it like 215 that I was really struggling with the jerk. The weight, like, I don't, like, at this point, I genuinely don't really care, because I know that, like, as I get better, those will go up. And, like, right now, like my main focus is just I want my lifts to look good, and I want them to feel good, and I want them to be consistent. I just want good technique. And I guess sort of the way I imagine, or the way I think about having good standards or high standards, is by always trying to have good technique, which is what I do. But I think I've sort of lumped together, because I've always thought of low or high expectations being just about the numbers. But I think maybe now I'm starting to realize that like maybe those expectations also include just good technique, I guess. Because I guess, yeah, I mean, like I think when I think about it now, it's like with movements as difficult as these, like I'm just not gonna have. It's gonna take a lot of time to like develop technique, but I don't know. And I also think another factor is lately or like recently, there's been a lot of continental competitions happening, and my Instagram feed and my YouTube, they're all flooded with videos of the Pan Am Championships and the Asian Championships, and just a week ago was the European Championships, and like seeing all these elite lifters like hit crazy numbers and look really good doing them has me just like, I don't know, like I think just being in awe of that just makes me, I don't know, delude myself that I'm also capable of that, even though they've been doing this shit for like probably, I don't know, close to like more than probably 10 times the amount I've been training for weightlifting specifically. But yeah, I don't know, maybe the solution or the right thing to do right now is just to sort of maybe just try to avoid consuming that kind of content in my free time. And I don't know. I don't really know what the solution is, but yeah, I mean, one last thing worth mentioning, just because this is going on forever, is that I will say though, like, although the lows of weightlifting in terms of like my emotions attached to it, the lows are like lower than what anything I've ever experienced with like powerlifting, but the highs are also higher than anything I've experienced with powerlifting. I guess to sort of elaborate on that, like I don't know, I don't think it's that I didn't care as much about like powerlifting, but at this point I feel like, I don't know, like I don't really know where I'm going with this, I guess, but I guess weightlifting just like means more to me, I guess that's what that means. If the highs are higher than anything I've experienced in powerlifting and the lows are lower than anything I've experienced in powerlifting, I guess that's what that means. But I don't know, I just want to get good at this sport, and hopefully tomorrow, which is my rest day, I'll just take some time to not think about anything weightlifting related and just take that day off, and then come back hopefully with a fresh state of mind on Friday for the comp lifts. But yeah, okay, that's about it. This is a really long monologue. I've gone 6 minutes past the video, but I'll stop it here. But yeah, that's about it.